Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. My goodness, we not only have reached Friday, and by the way, that means it's the Friday Five. 5 minutes with Phil, ladies and gentlemen. But we've not only reached the end of the week, we've reached the end of the month of March. Can you believe this? Yes, April is tomorrow. No fooling. April is tomorrow. And here we are staring at the weekend. And what a great time for us to look at God's Word together for 5 minutes with Phil. Thank you for joining me. And let's get right down to it on this beautiful Friday that God's given us. We are in 1 Timothy. Yesterday we were in 2 Timothy. Today we're in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16. 1 and 2 Timothy, they're just full of great moments of advice that Paul gives to a young man that he's mentoring who's also a pastor by the name of Timothy. And he gives some awesome advice, not just for him, but once again for all of us that we could really apply to our own lives. And I want to share that with you here today. Are you ready? Here we go. Check this out with me. 1 Timothy 4:16. Paul says this: keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. Stay true to what is right for the sake of your own salvation and the salvation of those who hear you. Keep a close watch. Those words kind of jumped out at me as I was looking at this verse for us today. Those things, I'll put it to you this way. I firmly believe that those things that we value the most, okay? Those things that we value the most, we will be the most protective of. We will guard the closest. If there's something that doesn't really mean much to you, maybe you've got a car that you don't care if anybody steals it. Leave the keys in it. Leave the doors unlocked, the windows open, whatever. It's because you don't care about it. You don't value it. But if you got a brand new car, you keep a close watch. You take care of that thing. Not a speck of paper is allowed on the floorboard. Am I right? That's kind of the way we are. Well, let's multiply that exponentially now to our lives, our spiritual lives, and what we communicate to other people. Paul says it's that you need to keep a really close watch on. You need to guard that with everything. And staying true to what is right. Basically, our lives should match what we say our beliefs are. So our conduct should match our doctrine, our preaching, our communication to other people. And Paul says, keep a close watch on that. In other words, don't let anybody mess with it. Don't just take it for granted. Keep the doors unlocked on that. This is something you need to value. This is something that you really, really need to take care of. And Paul says that this is not only for your sake, and it is for your sake, by the way, because we need to value our own spiritual lives so that we don't make a mess out of our own lives, right? But Paul says that for the sake of your own salvation and the salvation of those who hear you. So get this, okay? Paul is saying this: keep a close watch on your life, on your character, on everything about you, your relationship with God. Value that, guard it, keep a close watch on it, not just for your sake, but this will have an influence on the people that are around you. So parents, it's going to have an influence on your kids. Employers, it's going to have an influence on your employees. Friends, it's going to have an influence on your other friendships, on your neighbors, on your fellow students. Our keeping a close watch on our lives, and especially our spiritual lives, is not just for our own self-preservation, but it's also for the influence that we have on other people. And I want to challenge you with that this weekend. And I hope that really blesses you today. So let's try to live this out, okay? Have a great weekend. My time's up. I love you. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.